Hello, hello. How you doing, everyone? My name is Chris from Affinity Senior Care, and today I want to talk to you about the sacrifices of caregiving, being the caregiver, the things that you give up, and the things that you never knew that when your parents age and they are going through so much, and the being the caretaker as the kid and the child, and the things that you have to be able to the decisions you have to make can be so hard. So today we're going to be talking about the sacrifices of caregiving.
Affinity Home Care. Welcome to our family.
So the sacrifices that you have to go through, one question that is often asked is, how do I deal with the reality of leaving behind the life I had to become the primary caregiver for my aging loved one? This is a very common thing that we hear a lot of family members go through. The plain truth is that assuming the responsibility of caring for another person dramatically alters one's life. Like this change can happen abruptly, or it could subtly creep over time. Either way, most caregivers are eventually struck by the realization that their present situation that they have in life is nothing like the past and nowhere near what they had envisioned for the future. So I wanted to talk to you about this. The question is, how do we cope with this? It may sound selfish to some, but to those who dove into being the caregiver with full hearts and no planning, then ended up in a months or years long commitment, that is a perfectly rational question to have, to figure out what you really are going through right now. People put their lives on hold to care for those they love, right? It's you admire the person that does this, and this is a huge sacrifice that what they do to be able to give up and submit themselves to take care of their loved one or their parents or a friend or neighbor, whoever it is. But when on hold becomes the new norm, a mental adjustment must be made. Like this usually includes acknowledging and dealing with the difficult emotions that a lot of family members have, and it's called, they go through resentment. So adjusting to the new normal is what we're talking about over here. Now, most caregivers take on this new role out of love and have good intentions. Most of the family members I come across, they truly do want to provide the best for their parents. They rarely stop to think, though, this might go on for years, and I'd better take a step back, and make some plans first, right? So we don't pause to think about what we're getting into or weigh out our options. We just do react. This is the right option. This is the right choice for us for me to do. I would never thought of making any other decision or choice. We don't hash out whether we should keep working full time or move to part time, or if we'll have to wind up maybe possibly quitting their job. We don't immediately ponder the impact that this new role will have on the children that are taking care of their parents, or the spouse for taking care of the husband or wife. Our bottom line, or it's really you're choosing is you're trying to figure out your happiness. What is your happiness, and what is the acceptance of the new role that you're going to be going into now. We may have reservations, but still rush into simply because we know we're needed, and our parents at that point in time, who else is going to do it? Who else is going to take care of my mom and dad, right? It is up to us to help, right? So we do what we must in the moment, right? Everyone does what they can when it gets down to the point where they are the caretaker, but there goes weeks, there goes months, or sometimes it even goes years, of just squawking by can have lasting consequences on our relationships, on your savings, on your career, retirement, and physically and mental health starts to be affected. No matter what age you are, when you begin caregiving, this role is going to change your life. As you've known that if you are listening and if you're caring for someone, the plans that you had for the future might change, so back to handling the resentment over making sacrifices for taking care of someone, right? Most caregivers have some idea of how they intended to spend their life, or kids, taking care of their parents. They always have, an envision. But thanks to, there's medical advancements, and aging parents are living longer than ever, despite the serious health conditions that could happen. For example, if your parents have dementia or Parkinson's disease or COPD, which is called chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or maybe have developed some type of heart failure. Their care typically falls to their loved ones whose plans and their expectations, are appended. All right. So, resentment is a pretty normal type of emotion to go through, but it is, it's impossible to avoid when you become the caregiver, right? Furthermore, admitting those feelings to other people, your friends or your family, to others will not likely, bring, they're not going to bring pats on your back all the time, right? Caregivers are left typically, left wondering on how to handle the fact that they resent being stuck in a situation that seems to leave them that have fewer choices. A lot of family members feel this way, So, what are our moral obligations is the question is to ask. What are we to do as we watch our aging parents or our spouses linger on, not living the type of quality of life, but not dying either, and, living long. So as living long with the condition that they have. As with, there are so many things in caregiving, in the caregiving world, in the home care world, and there's no really right answer, to tell you the truth, for everyone, because everyone's environment and family dynamics and what they want and what they choose is going to be different. Each person, family, and their financial status is going to be different, and their medical conditions is going to be different. There's so many situations, so there's not just one, thing that just works. However, there are always options and also changes that can be made at all times. So they may not be easy, and they might not be cost effective either, or ideal, but at least they deserve, some type of consideration and you digging into researching and finding out all the options available to make sure you make the right decision. So, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this, about this topic. I have, there are a lot of family members out there that, that struggle, So I see a lot of family members that that wait many years before they even have care, for their parents, and they sacrifice a lot. So if you have any questions about anything about home care services or your parents, you can always reach out to us in our agency. And I hope this topic resonated with you. And thank you for listening. And stay tuned for our next video.